Hey, what's up? I just wanted to share something, a thread by a doctor. I forget, where did I see this? Hold on. This was a tweet by somebody who's known in the free thinker realm, Steve Kirsch. And he retweeted this person saying this is a great thread on why doctors cannot figure out they've been lied to. So here we go. I'll bring up this thread. And keep in mind, I mean, I wanted to kind of pre-say something, but maybe after, I don't know. It's just the reason I want to share it is just for perspective, because what's allowed is not quite in your face, very general stuff. I didn't even realize it until after I was done with this thread. I was like, why isn't he more specific? And I was like, oh yeah, because you're still getting censored. But many people had these same thoughts and shared these same things, and still right now get censored. Still, things have come back a little bit, but it depends how far you push. It really does. It's interesting. It's horrible. But anyways, these are the same things people have said for the years. And they just wanted to share it. So let's just take a look. I had other thoughts, but I really don't want to get into it. Okay. So at the start here, why didn't more doctors speak out about bad mask data, need for RCT, bad booster data, myocarditis, school closure, lockdown sooner? Truth is, medicine selects for obedience, perhaps rivaled only by military. Questioning established practice is seldom done. Let's see. Deference to expertise, poor training in statistics, and the basics of trial design, and a culture highly resistant to criticism, even apt. Credentialism and egoism run amok. Becoming a physician requires at least a decade of extreme obedience and tongue biting. Given these restrictions, it is impressive that so many did speak up. They are clearly vindicated. I won't try to speculate about factors that predicted savviness on these issues. I'm pretty sure most rules don't hold. There are a few domains that still require speaking up. Long COVID is one. The need for perpetual boosters without randomized data is another, and checks and balances on emergency powers in the future. Allowing politicians to self-declare emergency is untenable for free society. It has been abused horrifically, and will be abused more. And I wanted to go over some of the replies because there's some really good ones in here. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, what was it he said that made me think of, I mean, nurses and doctors were let go unless they went along with this, right? Like everybody right now still working in a hospital is still going along with the lie. So anyways, I'm telling you, man, I would ask them if you ever need to go to a doctor right now, ask them what they think of COVID. Ask them, and if they tell you that, oh yeah, that's safe and effective vaccines and this and that, do not continue visiting them. Walk the fuck out. Also, patient's bill of rights, including the right to visitation, and also legal prohibitions on who can set mandates. You can't have rando preschools mandating new vax. Too much power in hands of poorly trained people. I had forgotten one of the things I wanted to say was, like, you know, there are going to be different perspectives, of course, and a lot of, I mean, I've talked about this a little before in some recent videos. It's just like people rationalize anything, make sense of anything just so they don't have to face the reality, the real fucking truth. But yeah, that is evil and it is horrible, and you're going along with it because you can rationalize it, you know? Anyways, another truth, doctors as a group are poor critical thinkers and problem solvers, probably tied to obedience. His reply was yes. Let's see. Current culture in healthcare is centered on agreeability rather than critical, rational thinking. Being agreeable is rewarded and is more important than solving problems. Totally correct. Admins abuse docs and want us to like it. It reminds me of certain doctor shows too, because that's been around in TV shows for a long time, for many years. They point this out where people just kind of go along with what they're told. It's weird. And then the good doctors are the ones that don't go along with that. They're the rebels, like House and I forget. I'm talking about specifically like TV and whatever. I'm not remembering them all, but there's a bunch. This is an actual story that's come up here and there in TV for many years. So it's funny when I saw this and I was like, yeah, it seems like, I mean, I don't know, but TV laws. But you know, there's a lot of in writing that relates to what we experience in life and stuff. So anyway, I just thought that was funny. It also made me think of something else, but then I totally forgot what I was saying, all that pointless nonsense. Being agreeable. Yeah, man, I mean, I don't know, man. I've never understood the mindset of being agreeable. Like where you just need to please everyone or whatever, you know? I understand wanting to, but not like lying to do it or just going along with shit to do it. I don't know. Let's continue. I had more thoughts, but let's continue. There is some good stuff in here. That's the only reason I decided. I was like, all right, I'm reading a lot of good replies here. I'm gonna go share it, and not everything is the best, you know, whatever. With a dash of, that's a nice medical license you have there. It would be a real shame if something were to happen to it. Yeah, I mean, right? You get that, right? You gotta go along or say goodbye to your job. Yeah. The excuse from my physician for just going along with everything was, I have a family. And that's also a tale as old as time, right? It's normal. I learned violating the Hippocratic Oath is okay as long as you have a family. Yeah. And someone came up on that. My family you have there, it would be a shame if something happened to them. The tactics of literal criminals and terrorists were being used to keep us in line. Yeah. It's pretty nuts. Anyways. Been burned for speaking up before. True observation on all accounts. Safety and groupthink. The long on-call hours are essentially hazing. They break you down and build you back up as they want you. I don't think I looked at the replies to that one. Oh, I did see that, yeah. This has a way bigger function than people probably realize. Mandated sleep deprivation for years while being indoctrinated isn't an accident, it's a feature. And this isn't everything. Anyways, agreed. The establishment owns the doctors now. I mean, when didn't they? This was just the time that, as a society as a whole, and then in my lifetime, anyways. Again, when I read about the histories of stuff, I came across hundreds of years worth of vaccine stuff. This has happened before, not in my lifetime. This is why it threw me off big time when I saw that. I was like, I've seen the fear-mongering before my entire life. I had never seen mandates. That was a first for me. But this has happened, again, hundreds of years ago. Couple hundred years ago. Everything is on a cycle. Everything. Every single thing is on a cycle. The rise and fall of nations is on a cycle. That was an interesting thing to come. I was like, oh, shit. Yeah, that actually makes sense. It's horrible. Anyways. They are truly under the thumb of big government and outrageous regulations. They are also discouraged having free thought that might bring great breakthroughs in healthcare. We must elicit change before all of what's left of medical ethics is destroyed. I mean, I think, the corporations ruling everything is the problem. You know, people, it's impossible to go independent, right? Like to just have your own practice, your own like local job and stuff, like your own business. You gotta, pretty much you have to have inherited the ability to do that, the money, but you would have to have inherited that, the opportunity. You have to inherit that kind of opportunity. And I guess that's why we keep getting taken over by more and more of the corporations, because there's no more inheritance, you know, like, right? Anyways, sadly, doctors do not leave their social and political attitudes outside hospitals. I don't really know what that means. I'd probably have to figure that out another time. I don't want to read this stuff about the military being different when it's not. Whatever. Everybody wants to think they're special and shit. He defended the fucking like the military was different. Like with respect, military may be less obedient than that. Some like that right off the bat. Like no, you literally every word in that sentence is the opposite of what the military is. That's all you learn in the fucking military. It's just like everybody and everything, man. It's just not as strict, right? Usually, like it's the same everywhere. Jobs and this and that, everything. You have to follow the rules even when they don't make any damn sense. And you give them feedback saying this doesn't make sense. Here's an idea of how this would be better, and they don't care because it doesn't work for their system. They don't care about people. People do not matter. We're not living souls. We're not human beings to the people in charge. That's whatever, man. For another time, maybe. Didn't mean to go there. It's just all part of everything that sucks and horror. I mean, there's a lot of it makes me mad to be so angry. I'm like angry at myself for being angry because there's a lot of beauty that I've seen in my entire life as well, you know. But as far as a society and the way things have gone in general for people has only ever gotten worse. From what I've seen, my perspective, I've only ever seen it get worse, ever. Every fucking year. For regular people. And everybody just keeps going along like it's normal. Anyways. No, yeah, I really don't want to read that stuff. You can enjoy all the military stuff you want. Can't tell you how many times I heard it's just a game, put your head down and play it. And you know, man, I mean, this is literally everything in our life, right? Play the game. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Don't play the fucking game, man. The game sucks. I'd uninstall the fucking game. It's funny, I've had this thought a lot. I'm like, man, this life sucks, dude. If this was a game I was playing, I'd uninstall it. I would not be playing it. I wouldn't be playing it. Turn that shit the fuck off. I'd delete it forever. Forever. Well, that is a part of the programming, by the way, in case you don't realize that mentality, that attitude, it is brainwashing. It doesn't make any sense. Hate the player. Don't hate the player, hate the game. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Anyways, but that's kind of like, that's crazy that this is what the doctors kind of, in a way, they weren't, I doubt they were told that exactly, but right? Like, it makes sense. Just go along. Otherwise, kiss your job goodbye, you know, right? Pretty much. Right? It's weird, man. And that's our authority. These are the people that we're supposed to trust. Because everybody that went along with it, like I said, still has a job. Yeah. That's pretty horrible. Let's see. I credit my love for punk rock and the X-Files for making the government lies so easy to spot. Most of my colleagues simply don't do what they're told by their betters. So this is an interesting thing. That's unacceptable to me. And the reason that thing, like, I get it, but you would have to understand, you'd have to know, you'd have to be aware of real history, not the garbage they teach you in school where all they saw, this was over, we fixed it, everything's better and good, because that's how they teach it. You'd have to understand real history to be able to understand that the truths in the X-Files, you know, you'd have to know the real history, because otherwise it's just a TV show. It's fake. It's conspiracy. And you know, while you could understand that it does make sense and there is some believable stuff to it, it's still fake. It's a story because it's on TV. You know, you have to. I mean, it really is like you go. It's based on real life, man. You know, like it sucks because like that's society's general programming belief is that this stuff is a conspiracy. When you like, you know, you can. It sucks. Okay, it's terrible, man. It's weird. I mean, I didn't get too deep into it, like I said, and I should have a long time ago. I wish I had. It's a regret for sure. I wish I had really understood and paid more attention when I was younger, when I could see the bullshit and the lies. But what are we gonna do about it, right? What are we gonna do about it? That's what it comes down to pretty much every time. And the problem, there are people that have so-called solutions. They call them solutions. They say grow your own food and get out of the system and all that. And every time I hear that shit, I'm like, first of all, not everybody can actually do that. Like you all make it sound. They all make it sound easy. It's hilarious. I don't know. Whatever. Nobody can do anything like that or anything at all without help. That's just a fact. But the thing that makes me the most mad about that whole thing, all these really wonderful so-called solutions, this and that, literally just living your own life better, which is fucking stupid. It's just, to me, it's the same as just be happy, right? I mean, that's basically what it is. Just giving you garbage fucking advice that doesn't hold anybody the fuck accountable, doesn't stop these maniacs from doing what the fuck they're getting away with and have gotten away with our entire fucking lives before we were born, and they will continue. But, you know, just be happy and just grow your own fucking food. That's the solution. Thank you. That's great. Good job. Smart shit, ain't it? No. Fucking stupid. That's what pisses me off. So I love all the people I've come across as so-called free thinkers and stuff like that, and understand and see all the shit that just proves how evil these people are. Our government, all of them. You know, that's nice. It's nice to know that there are some people out there that are, you know, that really get it, really know that they're our fucking enemy, like for real, of all mankind, for real. But their solutions are just, to me, they're meaningless. It's garbage. And just like, okay, it must be nice to, because I'm already fine. Like, if that's the case, you know what? Whatever, I'm fine. I get to play video games all day if I want to. You know, I'm chilling, like, whatever. It's stupid. I think it's stupid. I think their so-called solutions are really stupid. I think they're bullshit because they literally it's literally just telling you live your own life, be good at your life, whatever. You know, I mean, it's nothing new. And this is the solution to our politics, is to get out of it in a way. You know, but it's just like, how does that stop them getting away with what they get? How does that stop the laws from getting worse and them just going around beating the fuck out of people and imprisoning them and like all this stuff, murdering people, you know, for real, and getting people to go along with them because that's what the nation's pride does, right? We join the army, we're fucking just killing people for really no real reason other than bullshit that we're told. I mean, you know, same old story, right? So I mean, but then their answer is this is what I mean, like their answer is garbage. It's useless. And that's every solution I've come across. The only one. Grow your own food and get out of the system. Okay. And it always, I forget sometimes, but I always think, I'm like, you know, look, man, people have done this before, and what happens? They get vilified, they get called a cult, and they get bombed. They get invaded by their own fucking government. It goes in there and wipes them out. That's what fucking happens. Good solution, brah. Anyways, didn't mean to go into all that. Let's see what else we got here. I know there was a couple, I guess I'm not going to read too many more. I saw like 3 to 4 of them where I was like, I'm going to share this because this is some good stuff. And then I was reading through, I was like, I guess I should have paid more attention. Like that there were less good ones that I really cared about. But this one had me though. The one, can't tell you how many times I heard, it's just a game, put your head down and play it. It's everything. It's everything. And you're just the player playing a nightmarish, hellish game. You're playing the devil. You got people playing God for real. And you're just playing a game with them. Allowing yourself to be their fucking pawn. But hate the game, not the player. Okay. Fuck you. The heavy influence. Oh wait, This is gonna link to a different. Yeah, I hate it's the new Twitter sucks. It's whenever they made it so that you could type more letters now. Now, like if it's too long, it doesn't show more like in the same page. You have to go directly to the tweet. It's a little annoying. I think it depends too. I don't know. Whatever. Anyways. The heavy influence of state medical boards on physicians with threats to sanction or suspend their license is one factor. Also, the threats of potential malpractice lawsuits is ubiquitous in all physicians' mind, especially in the United States as they make clinical recommendations. I mean, if people were just realistic and honest, things would change so much, you know. But that's society. We're it's a bunch of liars, I guess. Like, you know. Sadly, in all societies, most choose the path of least resistance, which is conformity. We've learned very little from World War II, other than Adolf Hitler was a bad guy. I mean, you know, I've given this a little bit of thought too, just a tiny bit. Sometimes I like to entertain fun ideas. Sometimes I'm like, well, what if Hitler was not a real person and they just made him up for a part? Like the real Hitler could have had a different name, for example, right? Like they could have just embellished the stories, changed some names here and there, right? Like just change some of the names around, because that's what they do in real life anyways. Like I just found this out about the Rothschilds and Rockefeller, which is, I always thought it was weird, because I remember I used to think they were the same. I used to confuse them. Mostly I thought because the names were the same, but apparently they are the same family and they just changed names at some point. I didn't get too deep into that, but I was like, oh shit. Anyways, let's see. And quite a few doctors, nurses, and even researchers, one of which being an actual Vanderbilt lung researcher who raised concerns about the approach as well as mass data, and they were aggressively silenced by their hospitals and social groups. Yeah, I mean, because people did speak out. I remember at the very beginning, and I think one of the reasons it was so easy for everybody to just be like, ah, nah, screw all these maniacs, is because Trump was promoting them, promoting the opposing view or whatever, right? But you know, it's funny to me. It's a little. It kind of cracks me up. It's sad. It's terrible. But like, I mean, I still don't know how people still think Trump is like the against the deep state. I mean, I remember, dude. Oh my gosh. All right, let me finish this first, because damn it. But Trump called himself the king of the vaccines. He repeatedly calls himself the king of the vaccines. That's how he refers to himself now since COVID. And that was after first saying hydroxychloroquine and then whatever thing, and then these other things, right? That was after that, like when he first started talking about it. But yeah, right, like I don't know, if you don't see the hypocrisy and the insanity that is the back and forth that has happened. That's what's happened, like for real. Like it's all lies and bull crap, man. Everything. But there was this thing. So I just saw this. There was a recent video, a recent interview he did, and he's talking about, or not an interview, was it? It's he's polling or what? He's running again or whatever, right? So he's doing speeches. He said he's the savior. He's back and he's gonna get rid of the deep state. He's the warrior of the people and all this shit. And it's hilarious to me because it's exactly like, say, Revelations or whatever, or any of those kind of stories we've ever heard where the devil comes back acting like he's the savior and shit. It's so funny. And this isn't the first time it's happened. It's the first big one again, like in my lifetime. And the last time I saw some super crazy stuff going on, like what's going on right now, was in the 90s. It was during the Afghanistan war. I mean, it might have been something else too. There'd been so many, right? I mean, there's been a lot since I was a kid. Man, there's always been a war going on. Some kind of war, you know. So anyways, this has happened before, just not at such a giant level that I've seen. But also, I mean, the internet changes things, you know, how much you can see at a time and all that kind of stuff. So it might have been this big back then as well. Like I said, though, I had never seen the mandates before, the 6-foot stickers on the ground, you know, and I had not seen that before. All the fear-mongering, the same. War, the same. But the mandates were new. Oh, I don't remember why I even got into that. But Trump is... Oh, yeah. So he's acting like he's the savior now. He's going to come back and be the savior. And that's what Trump is telling people. And they're falling for it because, you know, they have to, I guess. Stupid idiots. But I remember like 2 years ago, I had shared this account called Donnie Darkened on Twitter, and I talked about him a little bit in one of my videos. He has interesting stuff, mostly Trump related stuff and mostly numbers related stuff. It's interesting. It's just fun. It's interesting stuff. So I would look at his stuff a bit here and there. And he had predicted this 2 years ago. Or actually in 2020, he predicted. And it's easy to predict though, because even I knew. I was surprised Trump didn't get a second term by the fact that he got a first one. I was like, dude, if he got a first one, like if Americans are that fucking stupid that we're just okay with this and this makes sense and we're just gonna keep. And I would rather believe people aren't that stupid and it's just what they say on the news that people are big time supporters of Trump. But I've seen it in real life. Like I know people that really believe this. I know that they believe Trump is the savior. So as much as I would love to believe that's all bullshit, it's not. People are really this fucking stupid. So, sadly. Anyways, it was predicted, and I knew it too. Like I said, the fact that I was surprised he didn't get a second term, but it was predicted back in 2020 that Trump was going to come back as the savior of man. And there's all this stuff related. There's all kinds of like interesting spiritual related stuff. But I just thought it was really funny because when I heard that speech that he gave where he was talking about I'm the warrior of the people, and I forget the other things he said, but it is basically exactly what has been predicted about the devil too, right? I mean, it's hilarious, dude. It's fucking. I'm just like, okay, like. Sure. Nobody like how to like I don't know. Whatever, man. Sure. Anyways, I agree. It's hierarchical in a room of academic MDs. The people who get to share their opinions are the chair, then the chief, and usually it's everyone just agreeing with the person who outranks. Not usually an open discussion because they want to keep their jobs. I had forgotten about this, man. Apparently, and I learned this some years back. Not. Several years, I don't know, it was a little while back. A buddy of mine who had informed me and showed me and told me about how like stockholders can decide how and what a company does and becomes, and stockholders based on bullshit can actually end up getting rid of CEOs of a company just because they have stock in the company. That's one of the stupidest things I've ever heard in my life. That's so wrong in so many ways. I don't even want to. I don't give it much thought because it's too stupid. It's just too stupid. I'm just like, this is dumb. How is this a normal thing? Like how is this a normal? Like this is. There's nothing right about that at all. Imagine if you went to somebody like for a loan or something, and they loaned you some money and you paid it all back. Like for me, for example, I buy a home, I get a loan to buy a home. Eventually I pay the whole thing off, and then my lender says, well, that's still ours and you have to leave. We're just going to kick you out because we loaned you the money. That's what it sounds like to me, right? It just doesn't make sense. The stockholders can control the company. Like, it's just stupid. It's stupid. In that case, just fucking kick them out and don't take their money. Fuck them, man. Fuck their money. All right, but then of course people can't do that, right? Because money, I worship money, my God. Anyways, it's true though. It's true. It's fucking nuts, man. And I'm a realistic person. I understand that. I mean, I've said it before many times. I cannot live a fucking life because I can't afford to. You know? I can enjoy the free things in life. There are free things in life that are nice, but the reality is I cannot do half the fucking things I want to, not even half of them, without money. This is a fact. I can't even have a home. Yeah, right. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, I know that we need money. I still don't believe that we should fucking have money control us. You know, like, come on. Dude, get rid of those people. The CEO should not be removed by a stockholder or stock, you know, right? Like, fuck that, man. Get your money elsewhere. Or change the agreements. You can't, that should not be allowed. That doesn't even sound, does that sound like a sensible thing? It does not, it doesn't make any sense to me at all. It doesn't make any sense, dude. Like, it's my company. You gave me money because you were supporting me with my company, but now you're firing me and getting rid of me, and now nothing here is mine anymore. That doesn't, like, what? No, that makes zero sense. I don't know how I got into that. It's funny, whatever. Oh, because I read something here that, yeah. I mean, it just reminded me of that. The whole, like, just agreeing with people so that you keep your job or whatever, you know. But at the same time, going through COVID, that was a bit different, right? You know, that was a little bit different. I mean, mostly I see it as empathy being manipulated, not just fear. Not at all. I wasn't scared of COVID for a second, not one second. I don't have to say that. I don't have to lie about that. I didn't care about. I didn't want to get other people sick. That's where they got me out. It wasn't just. I mean, I was out of my mind. Okay, I was out of my fucking mind. I was gone. I was not home. I was not home. I was wiped out, dude. I was destroyed. I was gone. So anyways, I don't remember why I was talking about that too, but just the whole going along with things, you know. It didn't make sense. None of it didn't make sense. I remember. I mean, I had seen all the contradictions the whole fucking time. But I mean, it was our authority telling we had to do this, and everybody's going along with it. The fucking businesses and the ones that were able to stay open, you know, had to wear masks to go in, and they had their stupid 6 feet signs everywhere too. And I remember the whole time thinking how stupid it was. Because I remember, like, we've had colds and flus our whole life. We've never done this before. So pandemic's supposed to be worse, right? I get that. I do. But I don't believe it anymore. Not after learning history about many things. Everything. Anyways, I don't want to talk about this anymore. So I'm gonna go now. I'm alright. I just don't want to talk about this anymore. Yeah. Anyways, I did want to get into it more. I'm sure there's more good replies in here to just be aware of, you know, whatever. I'll link it in the description. Talk to you later. Bye bye.